What's going on? Peace, everybody. This your girl Tiffany, and I'm here live in effect. And so today I want to address the myth, these myths that's going around the community, right? So we're gonna talk about the first myth that I heard, and this first myth is if someone practices Abrahamic religion or Eastern religion, then they are anti-African. So make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. And peace to the chat. What's going on? Shout out to the chat. We gotta start with this mythology that because somebody practice Abrahamic religion or Eastern religion, meaning when I say Eastern, I'm talking about Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, Jainism, Confucianism. Those are the Eastern religion, okay? That comes out of the Asian country, right in India. So this is a problem. When you hear people make these claims, they don't know what they're talking about. I've heard an individual, or I saw an individual say that if anybody practicing religion that is not of African religion, then they might as well hate Africa. And that's a problem because we have the greatest minds that came up out the African continent and they love Africa. So you're telling me people like Shan Anti Diop, who was a Muslim and he was a physicist, right? Who took his time to study about Egypt and African civilization. You're telling me that he hated Africa because he was Muslim? You're telling me Haile Selassie, the emperor of Ethiopia, who was a Christian, you're telling me he hated Africa because he was a Christian? Or what about Desmond Tutu? You're telling me Desmond Tutu hated Africa because he was a Christian? We gotta stop telling that. See, individuals that do this are typically the ones that subscribe to the concept of atheism. And if you're going to say somebody being anti-African, then you as an atheist will fall into that category as well, because atheism is not of African ideology. And if so, please show me where atheism came up out of Africa. Last time I checked, it was a European concept. Last time I checked, the Greeks was one of the first people to associate with the concept of atheism. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've not seen anywhere any documentation that the ideology of atheism came up out of Africa. Now, that was people that was involved in what is called animism, which they believe that objects, right, had some form of spirits to them. And then there were our African ancestors who subscribe to nature, who worship nature. All right. But see, here's the thing with the atheists, they getting too carried away. It's one thing when you don't agree with people ideology, that's fine. And you have some good arguments, but when you go to the extent to tell somebody they anti-African because they do not practice African religion like you think they should, then that's a problem. And how many people who are atheists are willing to practice African religion? Not many. Not many. But yet they will go to the extent to tell somebody they are anti-African because of the religion they choose to practice. This right here is what creates a dichotomy. This is what creates a conflict. Now, yesterday, May 19th, was Malcolm X's birthday. Okay. And May 20th and May 21st is where they have the festivals nationwide. Okay? So here it is, a man. He came up out the school of Nation Islam, but before that, he was involved in the streets. Then he started practicing into Sunni Islam. And while he was into the Sunni Islam, or even before he even started practicing Islam, period, he studied about African history. But he got more into studying in depth about African history and revolution after he went into the nation and started studying Sunni Islamic doctrine. Here, this man who was a Pan Africanist, who started the Organization of Afro American Unity along with Dr. Henry Clark, Dr. John Henry Clark. Here's a man who is really focusing on Black nationalism, Pan Africanism. Now, you tell me somebody like Malcolm X, who was a devout Muslim, was anti-African because he was Muslim? Is that what you're telling me? Because if so, that's a slap to the face. That's a disrespect. And then also the same claim about Marcus Garvey. Because Marcus Garvey was a Christian, he was a Catholic. Well, guess what? Jamaica has a large population of Christianity. A lot of them people, they practice Catholicism. Okay? They have a large population. All right, that's how he came up. And at that time, that's all Marcus Garvey knew. All right? But what individuals won't tell you, when Marcus Garvey started the UNIA, he had multiple people that came from various backgrounds. He had people that were Christian, Muslim, non-Abrahamic. As a matter of fact, one of his mentors was an atheist. And that guy name was Hubert Harrison. Hubert Harrison was his mentor. And he was an atheist. Marcus Garvey had plenty of mentors. Dulce Ali Muhammad was another one of his mentors. And he was a Muslim. He came up out of Egypt. Booker T. Washington, which is one of the reasons why he came to America, because he was so influenced by Booker T. Washington. He wanted to meet him. But by the time he came here, Booker T had passed away. So, for those who have an issue with Black people that practicing Abrahamic religion, right? And they doing all these things for the community, what type of practical solution would you have for the people, especially when it comes to mental health? Now, there are some things that I don't agree with Abrahamic religion on, okay? But let's talk about mental health for a moment, right? What practical solution would you have for that? What type of form of spirituality would you give to them? If Abrahamic religion is not the way, or Eastern religion is not the way for them, what type of practical solution would you have for people who are battling with mental illness and depression, and that have lost hope within themselves? I'll wait. Because what I see is these same people, they don't have no practical solution. They have good talking points, but they ain't got no solution to combat with people who are dealing with some form of mental illness, depression, all of that. Everybody can't be an atheist. And then some people have a reason why they don't practice African spirituality. And it ain't because of the fact they hate African culture. But let's be honest, there are people who are using African spirituality to scam people, to take advantage of folks. There are people who run around here saying they babalaos or priests and want people to pay thousands of dollars to give them some form of reading, consultation, all of this other stuff. And then there's a dark side to certain things, okay? I'm not saying everybody that's involved in African spirituality are doing it, but there are some people that do malicious things. Just like you say they do malicious things in Abrahamic religion, there are people that do malicious things in African spirituality, and there are people who do malicious things in atheism. You okay, let's just get away from the concept of religion. Let's look at human behavior and human psychology for a moment. Let's look at that. We got a part of us that are domesticated and a part of us that are very animalistic. So when we operate within our animal nature, which is that dark part of us, that part of us that lacks self-control, that part of us that do malicious things, regardless what your religion background may be or what your social affiliation is, you got to know that there are humans who do malicious things to other humans in general, period. Okay? So there's people that's going to choose a path for them that's going to make it work for them. And some people may choose Islam for a personal reason because they see it personally benefit them. Some people may choose Christianity because it personally benefit them. Some people may choose Judaism because it personally benefits them. And some people may choose the Eastern religion because they see it as beneficial to them. And some people choose atheism because they see it beneficial to them. But as long as no one is using coercion, then you cannot combat against an individual just because of their religion. See, y'all focus too much on the religion and y'all not focused on people's psychology. You're not focused on people's behavior. Y'all looking at the blueprint, but y'all don't look at those who are behind the blueprint. Why do you think there are multiple schools of thoughts? Why do you think there is a sub branch of each religion? Why do you think that this religion got another branch of the same religion, and then there's another branch, and then there's another branch of that religion? Because everybody can't agree on one thing. Or there was people that encounter problem with other people. And another thing, a cult is not just based on Abrahamic religion either. A cult can be anything. It could be a political movement. It could be a social movement. It could be anything. Okay? A cult don't have to be based on Abrahamic practice. But it's not fair to dismiss people because of the fact they choose to practice a religion that you don't like. It's not fair to demoralize people and just throw away what they try to do, what type of goal they have accomplished because of the religion you don't like. That's very problematic. And a lot and and let me say this. Many of y'all would not be where you at if it wasn't for those who were in the religion schools of thoughts. It was a lot of black people that was involved in Christianity, in particularly, that opened up the opportunity that had made a way for us to be able to say we're black nationalists, pan-Africanists, and all of that. It was a lot of those people that was practicing religion. They didn't put their religion first. They didn't say, okay, our religion come first. No, they put their focus on the people. They put their focus on the people because they felt that it was necessary. They didn't care what background you come from as far as your religious affiliation. They was looking at what's the common goal, what's the common interest. Damn your religious belief. What's the common goal for the people? As long as your religious belief does not interfere with what the agenda is, that is your choice. But y'all will sit here and y'all will shit all day on people who practice religion. And oh, don't get me started on the fact that we got folks that like to call everybody pseudo because they choose to synchronize. Now, yes, there are pseudo people out there, but if these people are practicing something and it's benefiting them and it's helping them to stay focused, to maintain a better diet, to exercise, then why should it bother you? If they forcing it on other people, then that's a different story. But outside of that, if that's something that works for them, why is it bothering you? And have you noticed the ones that are atheists, right? Have you noticed that a lot of them don't have anything to really fall back on as far as how to go about maintaining good diet, how to be able to exercise, how to be able to maintain peace within yourself? I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but from what I see, there are those of them who are not health conscious. If you was to sit down and have a conversation, ask an atheist, okay, what type of solution do you have for everybody else? What type of solution do you have when it comes to people who are not health conscious or who's battling with an issue? They can't really give you an answer. Or what would you have done? They couldn't really give you an answer. They can't give you an answer, but all they can do is give you a critique. I agree. You're right. I do agree. Yes, we need unity as a whole. But here's the problem. You can only build with those who are like-minded like you. Everybody's not going to want to unify. Everybody's not going to want to unify. That's the truth. And that's the reality that we must face. Everybody's not going to want to unify. But my thing is, stop spreading false narrative about people saying that they are anti-African because they practice a religion that you don't like. And the very same people that talk about somebody anti-African, they are the most anti-African people themselves. They are the most anti-African people themselves. Hmm. And what y'all don't even know, that the African customs, let me see. I am atheist and I work alongside, I believe every day too. Oh yeah. Well, and this doesn't pertain to you, brother. It doesn't pertain to you. I'm just speaking in general. I'm just speaking in general. I'm not saying you personally, but I'm just speaking in general to those out there. I'm speaking in general to those individuals, not to you. But shout out to you for what you're doing. And what these people don't realize is that when the African people was brought over here, they had their religion. They had their religion, but those religion were combined with Abrahamic religion for a reason. You think that these people, when they came over here as slaves, they was able to practice their religion out in the open? No. They weren't able to practice the Akan religion out in the open or the Yoruba religion. They didn't have that leverage. You thought they was gonna practice the religion of Igbo out in the open while they was under slavery? No. They didn't have that leverage. They didn't have the privilege. And if they did, they were going to be punished. They were going to be castrated. They was going to be made an example of. That's why they did not practice their religion out in the open. So they did what they had to do. They synchronized them. They synchronized it under the religion of Islam, under the religion of Christianity. And 30% of our ancestors that came here, they were Muslims. So they was already introduced to Islam before they even got on the boats here to the Atlantic. Islam was a part of their culture. So if you're going to dismiss somebody and say they're anti-African because of the Abrahamic religion, you're talking about majority of West Africa. So you're saying basically West Africa are just anti-African people because a vast majority of those people are practicing Islam. And Islam being part of their culture for a long period of time. They took Islam and they revolutionized it. They made Islam a part of their tradition. They made Islam a part of their tradition. And there's various schools of Islam. There are those who practice Sufi Islam. There are those who are Sunni Muslim, but they fall under the Maliki school and the Hanafiya school. Then there are those who are Sufi. There are those who are Sufi Muslims. Okay? And Timbuktu is still around to this day. See, what people don't tell you is that a lot of those brothers and sisters, they were very knowledgeable before they got in contact with the transatlantic slave trade. They value education. They value scholarship. But see, West Africa get overshadowed because people don't think that West Africa or Central Africa have enough history. And the history is there, but it has not been really discovered. You probably did. Yeah, I was there. I was at the festival today. Yeah, somebody in the comment section said they saw me at the Malcolm X festival. So, yeah, I was there. But what I'm saying is, West Africa and Central Africa history has been overshadowed. So you got people thinking that these folks didn't really have the knowledge. The only thing they knew was just religion, or they just knew how to be barbarians, or whatever the case may be. And there was so much more to it than just what has been given to us. Do you know there were so many great minds and scholars that came up out the school of Timbuktu? But see, people don't want to talk about that. They don't want to discuss that. I don't think they focus on the fact that, oh, these people was Muslim. They took on the enemy religion. Okay. They took on the enemy religion. These people are Muslims. That's the only thing that you can really focus on, the fact that somebody is Muslim. Nothing else matters. But just that fact that they are Muslim. Help me to understand it. Help me to really understand. Are you just focusing on the fact that people are Muslim or Christian and everything else they did does not matter? It does not matter. Well, let me tell you what, and this is why I like, and I did a video on her, which is uh her name is Don Kemper. Don Kemper from the Congo area. She was a Christian. She was brought up in the Roman Catholic religion. And she started an organization called Anatonianism, which was named after Saint Anthony. Okay. She started Anatonianism. And guess what her philosophy was? Her philosophy was that Jesus came up out the Congo. That Jesus was a black man. That God was black. That his mother was a black woman. And she used that religion as a way to bring about the revolution for the people in the Congo area. Now, by the way, this young lady was in her 20s. And she even told the leader at that time period, and this is around the 1700s, she was telling him that, hey, you need to keep your eyes on the Portuguese, because these people trying to come in and take over. You need to keep your eyes on them. But the leader wasn't trying to hear it because, for one, she's a female. And two, what you want to hear from somebody that's so religious? He didn't want to hear what she got to say. He was like, look, you not a politician. You not a leader. Go somewhere and sit down. I don't want to hear what you got to say. But what she was saying was true. They eventually did come in and start taking more people, and they took over. So Kemper, Don Keeper Vita wasn't lying to the leader at that time period. She wasn't lying to him. And she felt that because she could take the Catholic religion and make it revolutionary, and make it beneficial, make it work for her and the people. Because there was a lot of things that was going on way before she was even born. Just like we have people sitting up here beating up on Queen Nzinga. Queen Nzinga, right? She took over Angola. Yeah. She got her hands dirty. But do we know why? For one, she was brought up in Christianity. And then on top of that, she was the next in line because her father did not have any boys. He did not have any sons, so she was the next leader in line. She was the next person to take over the region of Angola. So she had to finish up what was started. It wasn't like she can just say, okay, we just gonna end this off and then we just gonna do it this way. No, it wasn't like that. She was in the middle of crisis. So she did what she had to do. Now, maybe she had that intention, maybe she didn't. We don't really know. But we know that she was caught up in the middle of a crisis. So she had to do what was necessary to protect the Angola country because she was the leader. And then you have another one, Amina. Amina came up out the Hausa tribe in Nigeria, or what is now today Nigeria. She came up out the Hausa tribe. She was a warrior. She was a fighter. And she was a Muslim. But we gonna dismiss the fact that all the things that she had done because of the fact she was Muslim. That's what we gonna dismiss. We just gonna overlook everything else and focus on that one concept. She was a Muslim. That is a problematic thing. That is problematic as hell. I agree. Teamwork does make the dream work. I do. I agree with that. Y'all gotta stop this foolishness. Y'all really do. Y'all gotta cut it out. Either you want to build with people that has a common interest, or you don't. Either you want to network or you don't want to network. If you don't want to network because of somebody's religion, just say so. Just say you don't want to network with them. But don't sit up here and make no bogus claim that they are anti-African. Don't make those bogus claims. Because now you're giving falsified information. Don't make those type of claims. And those people who do that, they become a problem. They become a major problem. Because all you're doing is you just criticizing, and you ain't got nothing to show for. That's all you're doing. And I did that at one point in time. I used to go back and forth with people who was into these Abrahamic religion. I used to go back and forth with them debating and all of that. I did all that. But I got past it because I had to overlook that. I had to look at what was more important. I had to look at exactly what was more important. The work that the individual was doing or their religion. What is more important? And for me, I'm looking at the work. I'm not looking at your religion. I'm looking at what type of work are you doing? And how are you helping the people? How is the people benefiting from what you're doing? Are you doing anything that's putting people in jeopardy? Are you doing anything that people can benefit from? What are you doing? Now, going back to Brother Malcolm, since this is birthday weekend, He did what he could for the people. He put in the work for the people. And he networked with people that were non-Muslim. He even traveled to various places. He done met with leaders from Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria. He done met with people in Egypt. He done went to London, gave speeches. And Malcolm didn't even have much. Here's the thing, Malcolm did not have much as far as income is concerned. He didn't have a whole lot. So he had people at his corner that helped him. He had his sister, Ella Collins, who was a Muslim as well. She helped him. She made sure that he had money to go to Mecca and travel to other places. She covered his expenses. He had people in his corner. He had Dr. John Henry Clark, who pretty much taught him well, who worked on the long side with him when he started the OAAU. Then he also started the Muslim Mosque Incorporation. It didn't last very long because when he passed, then they was trying to find somebody else in leadership. Then that's when the Muslim Incorporated Brotherhood, I think, I think that's what the acronym stand for, Muslim Incorporated Brotherhood. Yeah, they came about right after the Muslim Mosque. And not to mention, he also had a good relationship with Warfdin Muhammad, who was the son of Elijah Muhammad. He had a great relationship with him. He had a close friendship with him. See, that's what people don't know. So Malcolm had people on his side. They didn't look at him and say, "Oh, you was Muslim, so we don't want to deal with you." No. Even him and Dr. King at one point they was at odds with each other, but eventually they sat down like men. They talked their issue out. Now, remind you, Dr. King was a Christian and Malcolm was a Muslim. And they, nobody look at him and say, "Oh, cause you a Muslim and you in the Nation of Islam, we ain't messing with you." Or you a Sunni Muslim, we not gonna deal with you. No. And same go for Dr. King. Yeah, Dr. King was a Christian. He came up on the Christian background. He used the Bible. He went out there and marched. Civil rights movement, Bloody Sunday, voting rights. He was putting his life at risk just by marching. And although he was using the concept of nonviolence, but I done heard folks call this man a coon, saying he was a sellout. But you couldn't do half of the things that he was doing. You could not organize the way he organized. You couldn't take those beans the way he took those beans. But yeah, you say this man's a coon, right? And you got a problem with the fact that he was a Christian. But you don't talk about the poor people campaign that he was trying to start up before he passed. You won't talk about the March on Washington. Or we won't talk about the fact that Dr. King actually networked with people from Africa. Because I guess people thought that he was anti-African. He wasn't. If y'all ain't watched all these interviews, you have not even watched his interviews. You haven't even watched his speech. Bruh gave a good speech about black men and black women relationship. He was going in talking about how the women at that time period, they was bleaching their skin to look lighter, and how they was straightening out their hair and all of that. He was talking about the importance of black relationship. You don't believe me? Go look it up. And he has great knowledge. He had great knowledge about slavery. So Dr. King knew more than what we was taught. Dr. King did what he could. He did what was best. Now, whether we agree with it or not, he did it. And also, during the Civil Rights March, there were people who had weapons, who wasn't going for that peaceful protest. There were people who had weapons that was willing to fight back. So Dr. King and Malcolm X did what they had to do for the people. And there was members in the Black Panther parties that were atheists. There were atheists. And there were those who practiced religion. You had Black Panthers who were Muslims or converted to Islam later on in life that took on Islamic names. But I guess these people are anti-African. I guess they work don't matter because of what their affiliation is. That's just bullshit. That's bullshit. You know, the toxicity of this whole thing is going around. It's in full circle. And it ain't just with the people that we know as being pseudos, but it's also with the people who claim to be scholars, who claim to be educators, who claim to be the gatekeepers that bring more toxicity in. And they pretty much, they ain't no better than the people they call pseudo. As a matter of fact, they are just as toxic as these people are. People, think outside the box. Just think outside the box. Please do not just be stuck in the box. Do not be stuck into this one little narrow box. Because it's not serving you any justice. It's not going to help. So either you can network with people or you don't network at all. Either you network with people or you don't network at all. All right, then. So that's all I have to say. And thank you guys for tuning in, watching. And shout out to the people in the chat once again. Shout out to New Black World Order. Shout out to Alexis. Thank you all for coming through and watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the channel, hit the notification bell, and share the channel. And until next time, may peace and power and elevation be to all you. Oh, and shout out to Brother Bakar. Hey, Brother Bakar, how you doing? It was great seeing you. And hopefully one day I can come on your platform and I can come in, I can join your panel. So just let me know. All right. But I appreciate you, and it was good running into you. It was good seeing a lot of people at the festival today. So I want to say that I just want to say that the festival was very beautiful as always. It's just so great to be around like-minded people. It was so great to be around the energy, the vibes. I mean, you got people from different backgrounds that's all just coming in and just being able to network with each other, have a good time, and enjoy themselves. We talking about black people from various backgrounds, various religious practice, coming from all over the world, and just coming together, networking, enjoying themselves, enjoying the energy, being able to vibe to the music, eating good food, vendoring, supporting the vendors. I mean, it was great. It was beautiful. And that's how it should be. That's how it should be. That's the way it should go. All right. So, anyways, again, I'm about to go ahead and log off. So, shout out to everybody in the chat room. And I hope to be able to build with some of you brothers and sisters out there. Um, I'm gonna have to start back getting people on the platform so we can come up with various topic or discuss topics. They are very important to us and that we need to really put a lot of focus and emphasis on. So I'm working on that. But besides that, thank you guys for supporting my channel. And shout out to all the new subscribers out there. If you're new to the channel, make sure you check out the videos that I've done previously. And also make sure you share the channel, share the video. And if you guys want to network or if you want me on your platforms or whatnot, please reach out to me. Don't hesitate. I do have a Facebook account. So just put in my name, Tiffany, and just put in my last name, French, and you'll see me on there. Or you can also hit me up on Instagram, which is Eastside Tip. So yeah, you can hit me up on Instagram, which is Eastside Tip. And if you guys want to have me on the platform, all right. So yeah, I mainly be on those two. I have a Twitter account, but I don't use Twitter as much. So yeah, for the most part you'll catch me on Facebook. So yeah, just reach out to me on Facebook if you really want me to come on your platform, or if you want to come on my platform, just let me know and we can work something out from there. Right? All right. So all right, shout out to you. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Yes, I did, brother. Yes, I did. I really appreciate it. And once again, it was great seeing you. I did. So I have some stuff on there, but it's on my Facebook account. So I will probably post some videos on here. Okay. I just have to break it down, edit the video so I can be able to post it. Or maybe I don't have to edit. I don't know. So but yeah, it's on my Facebook page though. So yeah, I did some recordings. All right. And thank you for coming. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you watching the channel and I appreciate you supporting the channel as well. All right, so I have nothing else. And Again, y'all take it easy. Y'all be safe. Enjoy yourselves. If you're out there having a good time, if you're at the festival, okay, wherever you are, enjoy yourself and enjoy the vibe, enjoy the music, network with people. That's the whole goal. That's the main reason why festivals happen, because it's all about networking. It's not about just having fun and just eating good food or whatnot. It's about networking. When you can network with folks, you have a lot in common. You will be surprised what you can be able to get for yourself. So yeah, just build a network team. See, the more you network, the more it'll help you. Now you ain't gotta just deal with just any old random people. Make sure it's the people that you can trust. Get to know people first and then go from there. All right. But it's always important to have a network connection. It's always important, because that's the key to bringing about unity, is being able to have network. All right. All right, then. I talked long enough. So y'all go ahead and do y'all thing. Peace.